can be a great teacher. That's why in this video, we're going to cover the 10 things that travel teaches you and why travel should be an important part of your life. One of the first things that you'll learn when you start to travel is that you don't know as much as you think you do. You learn a basic level of history and culture in high school and college, but once you go see these places for yourself, you realize there was such a big gap in your education, and you'll learn that it's easier to learn when you're in the actual space things happen in. You can feel the emotions of a place, you can smell the foods, you can hear the noises of the culture, the music, and you get a total feeling, a better picture of how things really are in a place. Traveling is like going to the best university. It's really the best way to learn.
Also, when you're traveling and you're learning to travel, especially if you're new at it, try to let go of your stereotypes. There's so many things that people will tell you about travel, about a particular city, area, different things, and it can really make you feel uncomfortable and make you feel fear. But really, just trust your own gut and go to these places with an open mind. You might find that a place is probably the best place for you in the world, especially if you're not fearful to just go and try it for yourself. Have an open mind to learn and to take in and internalize a place without having all of these jaded feelings and emotions that someone else may have given to you.
You'll also learn that you're never really alone when you're traveling. You'll find that the people that you'll meet are just friends you haven't met yet. So I always like to start simply. Talk with the people who are paid to treat you well. Talk with your taxi driver, talk with the service staff at the hotel, your wait staff at the restaurant. And then as you feel comfortable making conversation with those locals, then branch out to people you meet at the different sites you're gonna go see, or if you go out to a restaurant or bar, to your neighboring tourists, to your neighboring customers. And that will just enrich your experience of the place because you're sharing it with people from all over the world. It's not just your own experience anymore. You're getting different perspectives, you're getting different input on that same place, which is so exciting and so rewarding. And also, it's comforting to know that you're not alone when you experience problems on the road. For example, when we had car trouble in Phuket, it was very isolating at first. And I realized that this is not a problem I can solve by myself because I don't know mechanics, I don't know how car repair works in Thailand. So I asked for help in Thai as best I could, and they spoke back to us with English way better than our Thai, and we got the problem solved. So wherever you go, there's plenty of locals that are willing to help you because that's the way they would want to be treated in return as well. Don't feel scared about reaching out. You're never really alone when you're traveling.
Another big misconception people have, and the reason I know that they have it is because I had it, okay? And that is, you don't have to be rich to travel. Several years ago, when Kendra and I, we first started traveling, it's because we were salsa dancers and we were going city to city around the United States, enjoying these wonderful people, enjoying these wonderful parties. Well, we decided to start going abroad because we were spending so much money doing the same thing. We decided to try something different and we went abroad. And that led to more and more trips. Well, Kendra and I are not rich, okay? You know, we've been very fortunate in our jobs. We work very hard, but we're not rich. You don't have to be rich to go and enjoy yourself and have a great time in these wonderful cities.
Yeah, nowadays, flights are inexpensive and there's a wide range of hotels that you can choose from. We have consistently found very nice and comfortable hotel rooms in the range of $25 to $35 a night. It's really up to you to learn how to budget and learn to book the places that you can afford. Going to New York is much more expensive than going to Cancun, Mexico, for example. And you'd be amazed at all the affordable cities that there are to visit in Latin America and in Southeast Asia. All it takes is a few clicks on a website to find them out. You can travel and stay in a country like Thailand very inexpensively, and that's what makes travel accessible to most middle-class people. Traveling through Southeast Asia, we really learned how every country is so different. When we left on this journey, a friend I used to work with, he was telling me, why do you want to go to 100 different countries? You just go to a continent, you go to a region, and all the countries are the same. And it blows my mind how wrong that was. Going from Indonesia to Singapore, night and day different. They're nothing alike. Okay, then you go Cambodia to Vietnam. Again, completely different. But no, different language, different food, different religion, different philosophy of life. Everything was so different. So far this year, we've been to 6 countries and we've seen 6 different ways of life. And because of that, we've learned so much from it and learned to see the world in 6 different ways this year.
The people are so dramatically different. Every city, every country, every leadership in a way is different. So we have things to learn from every place. I used to blame our education and say, you're not teaching us enough about the world, but truthfully, you can only learn about the world by going into the world.
Another important thing is that you'll learn that you shouldn't judge a country by one city alone. In our home country of the US, for example, if all you did was go to New York and judge all of the US by New York, your perspective of the US is not quite correct, because New York is a unique place and it doesn't represent the whole of the United States. You would want to get more of a sampling somewhere in the South, maybe New Orleans, somewhere on the West Coast like LA, and somewhere in the middle, some Midwestern place like St. Louis, to kind of get a feel of what the US is like and what Americans are like. And the same is true for every country on the planet. So if you go to Indonesia, for example, and we went to Bali, and we felt like we got a good idea of what Indonesia is like and what Indonesians are like by exploring the island of Bali. And then we went to Yogyakarta, and it was like night and day different. I was like, are we in the same country? What's going on here? It felt like a completely different country. So we know, okay, just because we go to this one part of this country, it doesn't represent the whole country. So you gotta kind of have to keep an open mind about, if you don't like one city, you might want to explore some other cities in the area. The same when we went to Vietnam. We went to the big city of Ho Chi Minh and enjoyed that like lively atmosphere. But our favorite city wound up being this cute little historical town of Hoi An. So it's small town, small time vibes. But those 2 different cities were completely night and day. And in general, we enjoyed the south of Vietnam much more than the north. So you don't know these things until you explore multiple different cities in a country.
And that's the thing. The trick is, your experience might be totally opposite of ours.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these are opinions of other folks, and your experience might be totally different, and that's okay, because your experience is going to be valuable to your journey and not necessarily to anyone else's. Even if we were watching the same video, You're going to experience it one way. I'm going to experience it a totally different way, and that's okay.
The next thing you'll learn in your travels is that you are 100% going to make mistakes, and it's okay. So when you go to a foreign country, you're going into the unknown. So you're gonna make mistakes in communication, and you're gonna make mistakes in customs and not know that you're even doing anything wrong. You forget to wear the appropriate clothing going to temples. So often you'll have to borrow clothing to cover up to go to a temple, or just forgetting logistically how to do things properly. When we went to the island of Yao Yai, we made a very expensive mistake. We had to hire a private boat to take us back to our home instead of just going on the cheaper public boat. In a foreign country, the chances of you being wrong are high. So just humbly accept that and be willing to apologize. And usually everybody's okay because they know you don't know.
With this digital age we're in, people are very good with taking photos, especially hotels. And you're gonna choose a hotel based on photos sometimes. And when you arrive there, your photo in that hotel is not gonna match up perfectly, and you're not gonna be feeling that place. That's okay as well. You can quickly make new arrangements and go live in a different place. If you feel like you've booked a place that's sketchy, you booked a place that doesn't appeal to you, forgive yourself, make mistakes, but you can correct them. You don't have to live your whole vacation in a mistake, okay?
Travel also teaches you to be more flexible, more adaptable. You'll learn that driving on the left side of the road is just as efficient as driving on the right side. But are you able to adapt to those changes?
When we were in the United States, Kendra would have never rode a motorcycle.
That's true. I was terrified.
I was off limits. There are several things in our relationship since I've known Kendra that was off limits, right? So when we get to Thailand and we discover that we're taking cabs everywhere and this and that or whatever, and we had the discussion of, we might have to learn how to ride a motor scooter here, because that's what everybody does. It's easy, it's convenient, it's quick. Kendra really did have to adapt to riding a bike here. And I think now that she's done that, she sees the benefits of it.
The more you try certain things, you'll get used to them and build your comfort level with them. So there are many reasons to travel. Right now, David and I are traveling to sightsee, to learn history, to learn culture, and to do the tours that teach those things. But once we do that, there's still dozens of other reasons to travel to the same places over again. We have friends that travel to hike up mountains, and their whole thing is to travel to see all these beautiful trails around the world. You can travel to rock climb. If you just change your reason to travel, it changes your experience entirely. So once we do our world tour, if we change our reason for travel from sightseeing to something else, it's a new experience all over again.
Many times we travel to other countries to learn about those countries, but really, as we experience these countries in different places, we also learn more about ourselves. Traveling gives us the opportunity to overcome our own fears and insecurities. Many times when we travel, we have things that make us feel uncomfortable based on what we've been told or what we've seen or different stereotypes and other things like this. Overcoming our fear to go into the unknown and come out on the other side more brave, more secure, more confident, and to learn more about ourselves, learn about this journey that we take in life.
For the average person, travel abroad can be scary because there's so many unknowns. But the more you do it, the more it builds that travel muscle, and it becomes easy for you. I have friends tell me all the time, "You're so fearless. I couldn't do these things that you do." And the truth is, we have a lot of fears ourselves. It's just that we push ourselves a little bit, and eventually the things that we're doing just seem so normal. It never would have occurred to us to do rock climbing, and now it seems perfectly safe, normal thing to do. We're talking about even going scuba diving. Literally, earlier this year, I was like, maybe 5 years from now we'll do scuba diving. Because I mean, it is so scary, it's dangerous. But now we're like, maybe next week, maybe next month. The more things you try, the more it builds those muscles, and the less and less you fear until it seems like you're fearless.
The final thing that you'll learn from traveling is that you get more joy from your experiences than from your stuff. My travel memories are so much more fulfilling than all the possessions that I've bought in my lifetime. This 4-bedroom house was full, but we sold everything to take a few years off and to travel full time. Now, we spent a lot of time and money accumulating those possessions, but I can honestly say that I don't miss them. Because without those objects, I'm able to belong to the world instead of belonging to these things that don't even matter. There's nothing that I can buy that will give me the same level of joy and well-being as travel. Memories from your travels stay with you a lifetime and make you smile at unexpected moments throughout the day. This is why I'm so cautious about whether or not I really need a piece of clothing, a pair of shoes, or a new gadget. Will it really enhance my life? Is it really worth taking around the world with me? Although money is renewable in the sense that you can always earn more, I don't want to spend my whole life working for it. If I spend less, I can experience more and feed my soul with trips that really help me grow into the person I want to become.
So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like below and leave us a comment if you think we forgot any lessons that you learned when you travel. And don't forget to hit that red subscribe button so you can follow our journey throughout Thailand and throughout the world. You can also check out our other Thailand videos on the right here. As always, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for sharing and helping our little channel to grow. And take care till next time. Bye guys.